Good morning to for recording this video. I am Nicole, and this is the Rivera Family Homeschooling Vlog. This is Falcon. Can you say hi? He's just waking up. And I wanted to do, since it's the time of year that everybody's considering new curriculums and what they're going to buy for next year, I wanted to just do a quick update because we're at the end of our school year. We only have like a couple weeks left of until we're like done with our we school year round, so it's kind of hard to say, but we kind of follow our co-op's calendar, and our co-op's done in a couple weeks, so that means our official school year is done, even though we school through the summer, if that makes any sense. So I wanted to review really quick, right there, how the Mott Media curriculum has been going since we started that this year, and I have videos on how we were gonna test drive that and see how it went. And so I'm gonna just show you how we made Raise work and if it works and if we're gonna continue doing it, and talk quickly about the McGuffey readers and if we're gonna continue doing those next year. So here's where I have most of our stuff right here on this shelf. We have Ruth B. Chick's The 3 R's, which are an excellent guide if you're going to use the Mott Media curriculum, or even if you're just gonna use the Bible as your basis. We have the ABCs and all their tricks right here, which goes with the Phonics Made Plain system, which we are going to continue using. My oldest just finished all of his phonograms, but we're probably going to continue it into next year with our spelling rules. Here is the Ray's. This is his actual book, Ray's New Primary Arithmetic, which I covered. This is the Parent Teacher Guide. I found this helpful in the beginning, but then I kind of did my own things. So I don't know, I might reference it again for next school year. This little book has 1st and 2nd grade math in this whole book. And then this is the answer key, which I haven't needed because this is really easy. But I think this answer key goes through like the next several levels, and I'll probably need it for the higher levels, but not necessarily for the primary. So if you wanted to just get this, I did try doing just this without the teacher guide, and I kind of flopped on it. So when I did get the teacher guide, I did better, but then I kind of discarded it once I did my own thing. So they're all very inexpensive, so it's not a big deal. And then these are the McGuffies. We went through the primer pretty fast because he's already reading pretty well. And we are on the first reader. We're almost done with it. So he will be moving into the second reader pretty soon, or we might go back and do some spelling. I don't know, we'll see. Let me show you what we're doing. So here's, I've been doing homeschooling at my mom's house, my mom and dad's house. So I just travel with this bag, and I put everything in here that I need, all the supplies. And I kind of just like vomited them out over here so I can go through them with you. But this is the Raise. We finished the addition and subtract. So 1st grade is addition and subtraction. 2nd grade is multiplication, division. That might sound complicated, but what they do is they focus on groups of numbers and mastering those groups. So like numbers under 20. And then I think in the next level, they'll go to numbers over 20. So they haven't done double. I see, it's a truck. It's a truck. What else do you have there? Do you have a train? So they don't do double digit addition or subtraction. I have done that though with the oldest, because he had already done that in The Good and the Beautiful. So we just kind of maintain that skill. I see, it's a tractor. What's on this next page? These are the pretty books, and so he likes these. Is the little boy taking a bath? Yes. Okay. So what I did, so obviously these is only 60 lessons for the year, I think, or maybe less. Maybe like 30 something. Let's see, how many lessons is that? This is the last lesson. It is a total of 37 lessons for the year. Obviously we flew through that because we already knew this. We were just trying to master it. So what I did was Laurel at Landakakiak has her own do-it-yourself math facts book, and so it's $5 for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So I went ahead and printed that off. I got these so I printed off her system, but I also, which this is not her system, this is Easy Peasy, and I'll show you that in a minute. But her system, I interspersed it, planning to make my own book. This is hers. So she does practices in groups. And so they have one day that they trace everything. One day that we kind of just like go over what it is. One day that they fill in the empty blanks. And I cover this up so you can't see it. And then the last day is the test day to see if they know. So then I intersperse that with these like skip counting mazes, because my son, we're learning skip counting in classical conversations and he loves mazes. So I'm like, okay, we'll do some of that. And then we also, Easy Peasy has these wonderful fact family worksheets. And they also have, I just went ahead and went on to their level first grade printables. So you could do a whole curriculum with Easy Peasy, but it's 180 lessons. I didn't want to do that on top of Raise. So I just printed out the printables for their first grade math. And then it's pretty straightforward. It's things he's already learned, so he doesn't need to learn them again on Easy Peasy Online. So I just printed those out for like extra practice, and he has fun with them. Like there's this one thing that he painted the other day. And so he gets to do these fun little things. So it's not all the same, math fact stuff. He gets to do different things. And so I have him do 2 pages a day now because we're done with Raise. And the goal is to go through this throughout the summer and maybe round it off around August. And at that point, we'll pick up with Raise again to do multiplication and division, because then he'll have done all of this and been really strong in his math facts. You can see we mastered the word mama. Yes. Oh, animals. I see. He loves he's got his own little bookshelf right here. It has all his little books on it, and he loves these. These have been well loved by all the children. The pretty baby books with all the pictures. Oh, you can find the doggy on there. So that's Raise. Now we're going to go on to McGuffey. Here we are in the first reader, because that's where he can read on a high level, but his comprehension level is probably right here. And this is my bookmarker. I love these magnetic bookmarkers. We're on lesson 36. And he's doing a good job. One thing I think I am going to do differently next year is Sherry Hayes at Mom Delights has lesson books for these, and which helps children be able to not just, like I'm just using these as readers, but he can work on his spelling and things like that through her lesson books. She's also coming, I'm really excited, she's coming out with a commonplace book. So I want to look into those as well. But I might go ahead and do that for him next year. I'm not going to do that this year, just because we're doing, because of what we're doing. So this is his language arts book. Sorry for all the noise it's just real life that we printed out. And I also did something similar to the math workbook, and where I took different resources and made my own workbook. So we did 1 page of this from Half a 100 Acre Wood has copy work for John 1, which is what we're doing in CC. John 1 through 7 in print. And my son was like, I don't want to do it in print. He's like, but I do want to do it in cursive. So I went on and I printed the cursive one out. And he's been very passionate about learning cursive, so I just did that. And then I'm like, okay, well, if he really wants to learn cursive, I need to get something else to teach him how to do it on his own rather than just tracing. So I went to Land of Kakiak. Laurel has an excellent, like a quick, straightforward cursive program for $5 on her Etsy shop. And so he's been working his way through those. So he'll do like one of these tracing pages and one of those a day. But we're almost done with these tracing pages. So I'm like, okay, well, what else could he do to help him with his writing skills? So we're going to be wrapping that up. He's all the way through here. So let me show you. He's got this to do today, these 2 pages. And then once we get there, he's going, and I love that these also work on spelling, as he's doing spelling words as he works through the cursive pages. But then I'm like, okay, well, let's go in and reinforce the phonics we've learned with Phonics Made Plain. And so I went to, yes, but are you eating a banana? You went and got a banana? Good job. So he went, so this is easy peasy, level 1 language arts. And I did the same thing. I'm not going to have him do the lessons online. He's already learned this stuff. I just printed their printables for language arts level 1. Strawberries, I don't think we have any more of those. So I'm going to have him kind of like over the summer as we go through, just work on those. And so I told him, if you get through all of this, the reward at the end is you get to build all these spelling skills and writing skills. And at the end, you get to make your own comic book, which he's super excited about. So that's like motivation. So my goal is to have him just do 2 of these pages a day, 1 cursive lesson, 1 language arts level, 1 language art. That's actually my quietest child in public, is my loudest one at home. And that's the one you're hearing. Okay. So he'll do 1 cursive page a day, ideally, and 1 language arts page a day. And he loves worksheets and workbooks. I don't. But he loves them, and I love the easy peasy ones because they're simple and straightforward, and they really help reinforce concepts without being like fluff. They do a lot of copy work, which I appreciate too, because he picks up a lot of his spelling just by doing copy work. And so I don't feel like I'm going to need to go back and do spelling with this book. I think we can just move on to the second reader, because by the time he works through all these spelling words he's going to be doing in here, I think he'll be good to go. We'll see. Could be wrong on that one, but we shall see. So that's what I'm doing for language arts. This is his language arts book. Hopefully this will last us through August at least, if not into September. And I won't have to print anything else off. And then he'll get his reward at the end of getting to make his own comic book, which he's super excited about. And I'm really excited for that commonplace book that Sherry Hayes is coming out with. So we might do that. I'm not sure. We'll have to look into her resources. And I was working on, like, my own resource was this thing I called scriblings. There's these things called journalings where you can write in your own handwriting. Book by book, they have like little like leather bound notebooks that you can write in, and you can copy scripture and copy your own copy of the Bible just with your own handwriting. So that was one thing I was like, oh man, that would be awesome, because my son expressed an interest in just copying from the Bible, and I'm like, okay, we could do that. So I kind of came up with my own resource. It's not done, it's not perfected, but we did one 4-page spread of it. I'd like to eventually get to this, but I'm waiting to see what Sherry Hayes' book looks like first before I continue beating my head against the wall with trying to create my own resource, because hers might be way better, and then I wouldn't have to do all this work of figuring out how to perfect this. But this just gives him space to write scripture, space to write any connecting verses, reference verses that help explain the scripture, space to write a catechism question that relates to the scripture, space to write a verse from a hymn that we're learning that relates to the scripture, place to draw a picture and write his own sentence. He told me the sentence he wanted. I wrote it in highlighter and he traced it, because that's where we're at with our cursive. And then space for us to just sit down, talk about a verse, and talk about how it relates to everything that we are learning in all of our different strands of subjects in classical conversations. So it's a good conversation. I obviously write this whole page. That would be too much for him. So I'm just trying to, we'll see. Hopefully the commonplace book is the answer and I don't have to continue with this. But that's kind of, I came up with one for myself too, like a more adult version. And I've been doing it and loving it for my own time. If anybody wants it, just message me and I'll just post a link to it below. And if you want it, you can grab it. If not, then not. So this is the Phonics Made Plain. We're on the last, I put them in baggies by like stages. There's a chart that comes with it. So by like groups. And so this is the last baggie and my son is pretty much done with this. I got this chart from the Scribblers at Home curriculum, and I just made a copy and put it in his menu. And I told him when he finishes all of it, he gets 100 pennies, which that's a lot for us because we do the penny reward system. I've talked about in other videos. So he's got these last ones to learn, and then he's done with his phonics. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the phonics and just try and reinforce it by doing almost like a phonics scavenger hunt with different words as we do spelling words. Like, oh, can you find the what phonograms are in this word? kind of things like that to just reinforce all these concepts so they stick. So that's where we're at with the phonics made plain. It's been great. You could do this without the ABCs and all their tricks book, but I find it's not a very expensive book, and it's informative when I have a question to be able to just go to it real quick. And all these cards reference where to find either on the wall chart, or some of them reference back to the ABCs and all their tricks books for more information. So we're going to keep working on that and incorporate that into our spelling rules as we move into learning those. This incorporates spelling rules into the phonics. FYI. We just decide to learn the sound, and we'll go back and learn the spelling rules that go with them after we learn the basic sound. So that is my review of the Mott Media curriculum. In the next video, I'm going to review what we're doing for the preschooler for his preschool curriculum. Oh, I wanted to show you this. These are also from Laurel at Land of Caveat. These are, this is how I'm reinforcing the double-digit edition. These are her abacus flashcards, and it comes with like videos on how to teach your children the abacus. Are you learning the abacus and eating your banana? So they get a flashcard, and they do like 27 plus 19 on the abacus, and then they can turn and they can check it. So it gives them some independent work, and they can show me the answer while I'm working with another child. The preschooler is just learning preschool ABCs and stuff, so it doesn't take me very long with him, but this gives my oldest some practice. I think he's already gone through all these. So that's good. We'll need to order this is the addition subtraction package, which is $5, I believe. And then we'll need to order the multiplication division package when we get there next year. And I printed them all. You can print them on cardstock. We print them on regular paper. And then I have this peel and stick lamination paper that makes them very durable. And so it was a job, but I went ahead and just laminated all of them so we can use them for all three boys. One last thing is number stories. So I printed these and bound them. Mom Delights, Sherry Hayes, has a whole way of printing and binding books. And so we have number stories book 1 that is well loved. And that's what the preschooler is going through. It taught him his numbers 1 through 20 and some basic long, short, tall, concepts, math concepts. And now we're moving on to number stories book 2, and I do read these as like a little treat for the oldest, and it kind of just reinforces those math facts and it touches on money and things like that. So we get into money, and they're just fun little stories. It follows Bobby and Betty around, and they go to school and the different things that they're learning while they play with their friends and how to apply math. So there's that, and there's one other math resource that we really, really loved, and I'm going to take you to the bookshelf for that. So there are these. We've got them from the library, but we own one. The circumference books. So circumference gets decima's points. So it talks about decimal points. Circumference and all the king's tens. It teaches them how to count and group by tens and hundreds and thousands and place value. Circumference in the first round table. It teaches about circles. We have, and off the chart desserts teaches them how to make graphs. So all these circumference books are excellent, and they also have other math adventures like Zachary Zormer Shape Transformer, and we haven't read this one yet, but this is one of them. And the Roundabout Battle, it teaches them to round numbers, and it's knights, and it's a cute little story. Equal Schmeequel, we haven't done that one yet, but we ordered a bunch of them from the library. There is A Place for Zero. This is awesome. It talks about what is the purpose of zero, and him figuring out what his purpose is. This was a good book, and great for the little too. Learning place value and how zero is a place value holder, and circumference in the Vikings map. They learn about how to use the X and Y axis of the graphs and stuff. So these math adventures, they are, some of them have the actual list of books. Let me see where the publisher is. So, charlesbridge.com. They have a whole set of math adventures, and you can get these either from the library or you can just order them. And they've been a great supplement to Ray's, because Ray's literally just does the addition, subtraction. They get into all the other stuff at the end of second grade. They get into money and things. So if you wanted to cover those things while doing the addition and subtraction, this would be a good, fun, easy way to do it. And you have plenty of time because you only have 37 lessons to get through in Ray's. And the Ray's guide says to do 1 lesson a week, but we did like 3 lessons a week. So it didn't take us a whole week to get through it. It probably could have if I had interspersed some of those worksheets with there, but it just didn't. And maybe next year when we start multiplication, I'll just have him, like, we'll do a Ray's lesson one day and then he'll do follow-up worksheets the next day. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I just wanted to show you some of those. So that's how our curriculum's going this year. I've been talking about it throughout the throughout the school year, the Mott Media, from when we ordered it all the way through, and kind of been showing you at different points how it was going. Mott Media is the original McGuffey's and the Ray's Arithmetic and the Phonics Made Plain. We're sticking with that. We're not planning on changing. We also do classical conversations, and we have another physical education co-op. We plan on sticking with all those. I know there's a lot of people who love to research curriculum and buy new curriculum every year and figure out which one's going to work this year. I don't love that. I just want what's going to work, and I just want to stick through it, and I don't want to have to buy new things. I don't want to have to switch things up. I just want to stick with a system that works. And we found that this really works. It depends on your approach to it too, how it works. So I feel like it takes about a year to figure out how you want to make it work for your family and your situation. So you have to go into it, if you're going to switch to Mott Media, knowing I'm going to take an experimental year and figure out how this works. They do sell, if you want workbooks, they sell workbooks in PDF that you can order once and use for all your children. They're very inexpensive for all the Mott Media curriculum. So they have workbooks for this, for McGuffey's that incorporates the phonics, and then they have the math ones. And you can just order those and do those if you feel more comfortable doing workbooks and you like this system. I just chose to make my own workbooks. So you kind of, just because of where we were and what he'd already learned, and wasn't sure if he was going to like those workbooks specifically. Anyway, you can ask them for a sample. They'll send you a sample, and you can figure out and they'll send you a sample of exactly the ones that you want, and you can figure out if that's something you want to order. I think it's like $7 something per PDF book, $8 maybe. And you can get a discount if you order like a whole set of workbooks. And they're all PDFs, so you just print them yourself. They're black and white, so you don't have to worry about colorful ink. And so there's that too. If you have any other questions about Mott Media and how we're doing it and how we're liking it, you can go ahead and ask me a question in the comments below. And I hope you have a blessed day.